During the past few weeks, we're in a conflict with a jihadist organization, Hamas, whose explicit goal is not a Palestinian state, nor is it to protect its people. Its explicit goal is to destroy the Jewish state, Israel. Everyone is looking at us. Khamenei in Iran, Nasrallah in Lebanon, Mashal in Qatar, and Hania in Gaza Strip. Israel is facing a unique opportunity to defeat this jihad terror. The Israeli public has never been stronger. You know, we're talking about Iron Dome, but there's really iron or steel desire and willpower of the Israeli people, this time to defeat Hamas. That's our goal, to disarm Hamas from missiles, to disarm Hamas from terror tunnels. There have been dozens of terror tunnels discovered that come from Gaza Strip into Israeli towns. And I want everyone who's listening to us to just imagine, how would you feel if your home was penetrated with a hole in the ground and suddenly 40 Hamas commando terrorists would jump out? Some in the world are telling us that our actions are not proportional. They're telling us, yes, you have the right to defend yourself in theory, but de facto, they're trying to tie our hands from actually defending ourselves. And I ask them, are you willing to come and clean up the terror in Gaza? Are you willing to send troops? If the answer is no, I ask the world, stand aside, let Israel complete the job. We're talking about our own sovereignty. We're talking about the security of our own people. We are responsible. So only a clear defeat of terror this time will prevent the next war. I stand behind Prime Minister Netanyahu. I stand behind his leadership. I stand behind his policy. And God willing, we will defeat terror this time around. A few minutes ago, I heard that Qatar is calling Israel's policy a terrorist policy. I want to be very clear. The entire conflict that we're seeing here is a result of Qatar's funding of Hamas. They've funded over $250 million. They're hosting Khalid Mashal permanently in Qatar. Qatar has become the world's greatest funder of terror. If it's Hamas, Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra, ISIS, all of the radical jihad terror groups are funded by Qatar. I call on Qatar immediately to halt all funding, and I call on the world, and especially on FIFA. If Qatar continues this, we need to cancel the World Cup in Qatar. It would be a prize for terror to have a World Cup happen in Qatar, and we'll work towards stopping this funding. That's the solution. Dry up the well.